It's the beer video, and I want to thank the fucking assholes that are outside my house arguing right now. They woke
Oh,
up. You okay?
you cut out for a second. I was like, oh no, how do I open PDF, etc.
No, there's people arguing outside my house, and now my dog is awake and barking from her crate.
Brody.
It's not her fault. She got, she's been pretty good today, all things considered. But now there's people, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, someone's car alarm went off at like 2 this morning outside our house, and Sauron was being very vigilant about it, like, meow, like,
Yeah,
but you can calm down.
yeah.
If you might hear some yowling, that's him. Um, I'm not sure what he's so excited about. I think he I fed him some bread recently.
Bread?
Yeah, I
Hmm,
don't know. He's a little sicko. He likes bread. I mean, not like a lot. I figure it's probably not
sure.
good. He can have a little as a treat, as they say. Kids.
Oh God, the dog's barking again. Jesus Christ.
Animals wild. Just
Well, what's gonna happen is after we're done with this video, I'm gonna have to go get her out of her crate, take her outside, and we have to just restart the whole process because there's people arguing in the streets at night. Thanks, everyone. It's not been a banner week for this neighborhood by any means, but
oof.
yeah. Uh anyway, it's a beer video. That's why we're here. So wait, who went first last week? Was it me?
Oh no, I was ask you. Oh shit.
We need to I need to bring back the sticky note of
I think
like
I went last week.
you what's that?
I think I went first last week.
You think you went first last week. Okay. All right, then I'll go first this week, and I will recreate the Brian went first sticky note so that it'll be on my computer next week, and we will know it's your turn to go first. All right. Well, I figured, it's holiday-ish season, right? Ish. Um, I guess this isn't necessarily Christmas oriented, but the flavors kind of are. But anyway, it's from Evergreen Brewing Company. It's called Nor'easter. It's a winter porter with vanilla, figs, cinnamon, and maple syrup, and it's got a cool looking can. Look at that little storm cloud.
Do you use the term nor'easter where you're from?
No, I so I don't know that I think we don't necessarily get those here. We get like remnants of it, but we don't get like a full nor'easter. I think that's closer to the coast, but someone can correct me because I'm not an expert as far as weather patterns are concerned.
How
Um,
is like it's a severe storm that like blows in off the ocean. So you're not on a coast, so you would be getting that, I imagine.
yeah, I think we just get remnants of it. Like some of it will push far enough to where we are. But yeah, we don't usually. It really barely snows here anymore. I mean, it was 60 degrees today.
It was
Um,
like 50 degrees here, which in Minnesota in winter,
yeah.
I'll just say it's one of those days that made me kind of glad I'm not having kids.
Oh, that's every day of my life, but yeah, yeah.
Well,
I hear you. Yeah. I forgot to mention it's 9% alcohol. This wonderful beer. Anyway, I'm just drinking out of a Wally World glass. I'll save the Christmas glass for next week. And let's rip. I'm excited about this beer, by the way, because I think it sounds interesting. Porters are nice. And plus the ABV is a little higher, so the chances of this being thin is small. Um, yeah, so yeah, it's nice and dark. Let's give that a pour. Yeah. So there you go. It's little creamy head. And then the beer. It's a little hoppy smell. I can't talk. There's a nice hops smell, which I guess I don't really expect all the time when ripping open a porter. But anyway, let's give it a shot. Let me go one more. It's not a bad. This is not a bad reaction. The maple syrup for sure. That's the first taste I get is the maple syrup, and it's not. It's more in of the aftertaste variety. Like it's not heavily influenced by maple syrup, but that's definitely like when I swallow it, the first thing I get whenever it touches my tongue. It's weird because it kind of has a little bit of a coffee taste to me. Maybe that's I don't know. That could be the fig. I don't know. Or the chestnuts. I might have said cinnamon before instead of chestnuts. I don't know. But I'm not getting a lot of the vanilla, which is odd. Um, but not unwelcome. Like I like vanilla flavored things, but I hate when they're overboard on the vanilla. I'm not getting a lot of the vanilla, but definitely some darker, richer flavors here. For a winter porter, it's what it should be. This is perfect for a really cold night when you're sitting in drinking beer in front of a fire or some shit, listening to whatever, black metal. I don't know. It's nice. This is really, really nice. The carbonation's perfect. It's not thin. That's where I porters I always get. I like porters, but they're hit and miss with me because sometimes the ones that are lower ABV, and granted this is 9, but some of the lower ones tend to be a little thinner. This almost drinks like a stout. If you would have just poured this and not told me what it was, I would have guessed it was a stout. Um, Obviously it's not. Yeah, I really like this. Considering there's a lot of flavors involved, they're not competing with each other. They seem to work really well. Maybe once this warms up a little bit, I'll start getting some more of the vanilla. But yeah, this is great. I really, really like this and a really good aftertaste. I'm actually tasting it more as I'm talking, which is nice. So yeah, this is nice work, Evergreen. Uh,
Yeah. It's great when a beer can say hello in a positive sense.
that's right. Wow, this is really good. I'm very happy with this one. Uh,
Good.
yeah. Um, yeah, I like this. I think this is the second Evergreen beer I've had on the beer video, and the dog's still barking. Fuck. Thanks a lot, neighbors. Um, yeah. Do we want to do shirt? Shirt?
Sure.
Yeah, you go ahead.
So mine looks like a Motorhead shirt, but it's actually for sorry, I still have a lingering cough apparently because um I cannot expel this gunk from my lungs despite getting over this cold like a week ago.
That shit's
Um
with you.
so Triple Rock was a punk bar in Minneapolis, owned by one of the members of Dillinger 4, closed in 2017, I want to say, but still very much missed.
I've actually heard of it, so
Yes, they're really, like I don't really like No Effects, but they have a song called Seeing Double at the Triple Rock, which I think a lot of people know it from, which is very appropriate because like their bartenders tended to pour pretty strong drinks.
yeah,
I spent a lot of my misbegotten 20s there for sure, and I still miss it very much.
yeah. There's places like that around here. It's weird. It just feels like after COVID, a lot of the stuff around here kind of got wiped out, especially shows. Like we don't get a lot of shows, and it's depressing. And
Yeah, we get a decent amount of shows. Sorry, excuse me. Jesus, what's wrong with me? There's some like both kind of like mid-sized venues and like kind of smaller DIY ones that are taking the place of Triple Rock, but nothing can ever truly replace it.
yeah,
Especially since, oh God. Okay, so when I first moved here, literally the first night I spent in Minneapolis, I was at Triple Rock. And they had something on the menu called a Minneapolis Po' Boy.
ooh,
Um, and I was like, what's Minneapolis about it?
yeah,
Uh, I noticed it was priced a little higher than most of the other sandwiches on the menu, and I was like, surely that's nothing to worry about. And like what they brought me was a plate the size of like a truck tire,
oh my
and
God,
mounded with potatoes and cheese, and like you get your choice of protein. I picked mock duck. Um, so it was just like potatoes, cheese, and fake meat, and just like a bun on top, kind of as a decorative afterthought. And I was like, well, I guess we're doing this thing. And I think I ate about half of it before I started feeling just absolute bone deep regret.
Yeah. Oh.
I did eventually finish one of those, but it was a trial, and yeah, miss that
Yeah.
place.
Hmm. Well, my shirt is from Fiata Productions. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's spelled Fiadh. Barry Ann can yell at me if I'm wrong. But anyway, this just showed up in the mail today, and it's a long sleeve, and it says "Be kind to animals, listen to black metal." And it's got a little Bambi here on the shirt. And it's got some design on the sleeve, and then a battle axe, and then the back it has the Fiata logo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but yeah, if you're not familiar with them, great label. They put out a lot of, they do a lot of, reissues of like on cassette a lot of times of different bands that have released things independently, and they'll go and pick those up. It's also a label that you can be 100% certain there are no shitheads on that label at all. She is very much she's very careful with her curation. And yeah, so she just put out the new Bull of Apis, Bull of Bronze record, which
Who put it out? Oh, cool. Yeah.
I got my copy. I don't know what I did with it. I was listening to it, and I'm not sure what I did with it. It's here somewhere. Um, anyway, but I just got that in the mail. Oh well, whenever these shirts showed up, so today. So that album is going to be on my top 40 somewhere. But they put out a lot of really great stuff. I don't know how to pronounce this band's name. YFEL, Eiffel, I don't know. But they're from Columbus. They're a black metal band. And my website, I think, is going to be premiering their new record next week. I think. Barry Ann and I are working on that. But anyway, if you get a chance to check out their website, if you like, and she also puts out like some dungeon synth stuff, and some kind of like pretty much anything that comes into the heavy music realm, she'll release. So and she used to do Broken Limbs recordings. If you ever heard of that label, they were the label that first put out Vatnet Viscar, who are now defunct. But yeah, so great label, good people, and yeah. And a long sleeve, my body is really weird with long sleeves, where long sleeves either fit me horribly or perfectly, and this one fits perfectly. So it's a nice, comfortable shirt, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I think I have that issue as well. I have a Vastum long sleeve and an Obsequier long sleeve that fit really well.
Hmm.
And Zoth one, which I love that band. It breaks my heart how terribly that shirt fits.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. I know.
Somehow like both saggy and too tight on me.
Hmm.
I assume it's because it's made for like a man or just someone in general who has like a very straight up and down body type, which I do not have.
Yeah.
Uh, so I don't know. It's kind of like been sitting in a heap by my sewing machine for a bit, and I'm just like, it's got like a cyber velociraptor eating a priest on it, and I'm
Oh,
so like I can't wear it. I'm like, I gotta make this work somehow.
yeah. My dog's
Okay,
going insane. Hopefully nobody can hear the dog barking in this video, but she's just going wild, and I'm gonna fucking punch whoever woke her up.
that's right.
It's so
That's
hard. I mean, she's usually really good about going to sleep, but if something spooks her, she just can't stop barking. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. It's a beer review.
so I misled you a bit as to what my beer was going to be because I mentioned the cat one, but I think I'm going to save that one.
That's okay.
Uh, I found one at the store today when I was walking home, and I decided to make a last minute change. So, and
It's
I
actually
think
right.
I think you're gonna find this funny. Okay, so I'm just gonna put my coaster over here. It is
Yeah.
Unibrows, Unibroue,
Unibroue. Yeah.
um, Saison 13. This is the second Saison they have done for Megadeth.
Mhm.
One was a Tout Le Monde. It was very good.
Yeah.
Um,
I haven't had any of the Megadeth beers. I like their beers.
and the first one was really good, I thought. Which is I had it at the Decibel Metal and Beer Fest, and like me and Matt were there with my friend Greg, he's like, I'm gonna stand in line for this beer and then totally roast Dave Mustaine for being like, and like then I saw him go up to Dave Mustaine and he just all he says is like, "You were a huge inspiration of my guitar playing, man." And like I was like, "So what was that?" He's like, "I don't know, I just froze." Which like it's understandable. Personally, Megadeth are my least favorite of the big four, but I
Yeah,
think it's
agreed. Yeah.
nonetheless.
And I
Uh,
happen to really like Anthrax. I'm sorry, everybody. Right up to oh, what record is that? Shit, Persistence of Time. Right up to Persistence of Time. And actually the first album of John Bush I really like. And then it's kind of like middling results from there, but whatever. I like Anthrax. Fuck you, people out there looking at me for liking Anthrax.
I like Anthrax as well. I think they get kind of a bad rap.
I do.
I don't know. They're fun. I've seen them
Yeah.
live and they're always a good time.
Yeah. They played here with John Bush, like God, like 15 years ago. And I got to interview Frank Bello. I was still working at the newspaper, so like, to for that show, nicest fucking guy in the world. Frank Bello is one of the nicest human beings I've ever talked to. So goddamn nice.
I'm pretty sure my friend interviewed him for his college newspaper. He's like, "Oh yeah, best subject ever. He just talked forever about whatever
He
you
is.
want."
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Totally, yeah, really nice guy, really enthusiastic. He was like, "Hey, find me at the show, we'll have a beer," which didn't end up happening, but not his fault.
Okay, well, I guess I gotta try this beer now.
You should.
So this is a saison, obviously. It is 6.1% alcohol.
Okay. A little high for a saison.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, just I have this generic glass. I don't have your glassware collection, I'm
It's
afraid.
fun. I almost I almost bought more beer glasses today, and the thing that stopped me was the goddamn line I was gonna have to stand in. So didn't do it.
Yeah, so that's a good kind of medium amber color. Good old unhealthy pea color, you
It looks
might say.
like the color of Dave Mustaine's hair.
It does. I wonder if that's deliberate.
And I thought that I read with these beers that he actually is pretty involved with these. Like it's not just he's throwing the Megadeth name on it. I think he had a say in the brewing. Whoa. Also, I've
Uh,
also interviewed Dave Mustaine, and that God, what a weird dude. What a weird dude. He was very nice to me. Like I can't say anything bad about him. He was very nice, but just a straight fucking dude.
yeah, he gives off the very distinct vibe of like someone who got really into religion as the result of kicking like a pretty bad drug habit.
Yeah.
I've met those people and it's like they're always nice, but there's always like something a little bit off, and it's like obviously like you did pretty well for yourself, so I'm not gonna like,
Yeah.
you know, pile on you too hard, but there's just a vibe. It's off.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I meant to say, like the face I was making was because God, I hate to admit it, because like again, um, we all love clowning on Dave Mustaine,
Do we
but
ever?
this is a really good beer. This is fantastic,
Isn't
actually.
it? I mean, hey, it's a great brewery. I mean, those people know what they're doing. I've never had a bad beer from that place.
Yeah. Um,
And I think it might be Unibroue. I think it might. Yeah, I don't remember.
like dried fruit flavor, like and like just enough sweetness that like it's kind of like I don't know, like a I've described Belgian they'll just has like this before, kind of a bready sweetness.
Yeah.
Like so it's not like just like punch you in the mouth with sugar. It's like more subtle than that. Ah, it's really fantastic. I took a risk and got a 4 pack of these, so I'm very happy this turned
There
out
you
to be good.
go. Is this the first time we've both been enthusiastic about the beers we've had?
I, oh yeah,
I don't know.
I think the last time I did a band themed beer was that awful Iron Maiden stout. So
Oh,
it's a nice contrast.
yeah.
Uh, I I'm just like I think I've mentioned before, but yeah, I'm just sitting on my hands waiting for Hammerheart to restart because they did like two knock 'em out at the park. I can't stop coughing, sorry. Band beers in a row. Like they did like a farmhouse ale for Crypt Sermon, I think it was.
Yeah. Was that
And they
Decibel?
um no, they had it just
Okay.
in this around here and it was very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've mentioned before, but my favorite band themed beer of all time, which I think only falls into the category for being a little generous, but it's that the smoked Hefeweizen Hammerheart used to
Yeah.
has like one of the guys from Blister on the label doing this because he hates Hefeweizens, and they decided to just kind of needle him about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know those guys are good friends, so
Yeah,
makes sense. And he's on the new Panopticon record too, which is fucking phenomenal.
I finally caught up with it and started listening to it, and I'm like, ah, it's great. I don't.
The fucking string work on that record. Like the string work on that record.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Shit.
Like, yeah, and like the way it opens with a loon cry, like I think the best black metal has this very distinct sense of place. Like you get that with the old Norwegian bands, like
Mhm.
I've been hiking in Norway and like, like um a lot of that like second wave stuff, like the best of it, I think feels like standing on the windswept top of a mountain, like
Yeah.
and like this Panopticon record, it feels like you're in the North Woods in Minnesota. Like it opens with a loon cry. I think that's perfect.
Yeah. Every time I've listened to that record around my dog, whenever that happens, her ears go up and she's like, I'm like, it's on the record, buddy. You don't have to look around. It's okay. It's not in the house. Or it's
Oh,
oh shit.
I poured that badly. Well,
Well, it happens.
that's our camera range.
An
You didn't see
overabundance of head, something I've never had. Anyway, so we make a fun of we sound like Mario there. We make fun of a lot of Republicans on this show, and rightfully so. I'm going to give them a little bit of a break this week and actually give a Democrat a hard time, especially one that I really liked. What's going on, John Fetterman?
big sheets guy. How could you fucking do me like this? And I'm especially bitter about this because like obviously I rooted for him over Connor Lamb because Connor Lamb was like a Democrat machine worm.
Right.
And like as a shorts and hoodie person myself, I wanted good shorts and hoodie representation. And like the whole thing with like going in on like restrictive immigration laws, it's like you have made a huge point about how your wife was undocumented. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah,
Uh,
this is one of those things where I said this on a Facebook post earlier. I was like, I am 100% not making light of this when I say this. But I wonder is this the stroke?
I do wonder, because like he was pretty consistent before this. Like he had like a couple weird things like being like pro fracking or relatively pro fracking.
Yeah.
Um, but that was one of those things where I kind of chalked it up to like regional politics. But yeah, it's like incredibly depressing. I hate it.
There's
Uh,
another not good story about him from his past that I don't want to bring it up here because um I don't know all the details about it, so it's kind of unfair. Although I guess if it was a Republican, I'd talk about it, so I'll just say it. He was accused of pulling a gun on a black pedestrian.
I did hear about that. Far be it for me to tell anyone how to feel about that, but I do think it's notable that the guy he pulled a gun on when he was in the race versus Dr. Oz, the guy he pulled a gun on was like, you should vote for Fetterman.
Yeah,
So, it's like, yes, that was a questionable thing to do, to put it mildly, but like, if the guy it actually happened to is like willing to move past it, well,
yeah, yeah,
I feel like there's a limit to how much I should get mad on his behalf.
yeah.
But yeah, like there's plenty to criticize Fetterman for. Oh God. That's yeah.
It's just
Like
it went from one of those things where like I enthusiastically supported him and voted for him, and now it's going to be like next election cycle if he runs. Yeah, I'm not going to vote for a Republican, so don't get me wrong, but if he's the candidate, it's going to end up being like Joe Biden next year. I'm going to be like, I don't want to do this, but it's absolutely better than the alternative, so I'm just going to do it, but I'm not happy about it.
God, man. I'm probably gonna go to Norway like 3 weeks before the presidential election, and I'm like, should I just fucking stay there?
I don't know. I
I
don't
mean,
getting
I guess
into, but
that's illegal and they probably frown on it, but I'm just like,
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want to that. Like, no, thank you.
yeah. I wanted to bring something up from last week. We were talking about high spirits, and
Yes,
I was saying that I had picked up a high spirits record. Well, I should have remembered it was of course another night, which is,
I have that shirt.
yeah, one of their better known records. Yeah, it just got High Roller had just done a reissue of it, and so um the Attic, which is the record store that I frequent, just got a big shipment in from High Roller. So like a lot of really killer like vintage metal stuff, but some stuff like High Spirits. So yeah, so I was pretty pumped to pick that up. God, I'm depressed now just talking about John Fetterman. Also, both of you don't give a shit about this, and I barely do, but both of our football teams lost today. So
Oh, the Vikings lost today. Well, is
yeah.
the Catholic?
What's that?
I mean, the Vikings lose pretty frequently, so this is not a surprise to me.
Yeah.
Um, I like to get lunch at this bar by my house, which is actually like a Vikings bar. So the game was just starting as I was finishing up, and
Yeah.
like I was just looking around like, oh, you people are all so hopeful. I'm like, I wish I could fail that constantly and inspire that level of hope still.
Yeah, and I mean, they at least played a good game. I mean, they probably should have won that game or could have won that game. The Steelers just barely even showed up. The Steelers are in a historic collapse that it's the most possible. Their head coach has been the coach for 17 years. And this is the most possible so far in his run that it may be over with. Like it's like people are starting to think like it's time. Like it's he's been here for too long and it's
Blood's in the water, eh?
blood is in the water. Yeah, yeah. The rivers run with blood. But it was nice during the game. I was watching the game and Brody was very tired and she actually went to sleep. I had her and I was lying on the couch and she was kind of fell asleep on my chest. So we had a nice little bonding moment that we don't get very often because she's out of her mind. But yeah, little Brody. She also passed puppy class this week. She graduated from Phenomenal Canine. So,
Good
thank,
job, Brody.
what's that?
Good job, Brody.
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks to her trainer, Selena and Mac, we appreciate all your work. And her next class starts in January. So we're gonna put her into the next level of it and try to get this asshole into some kind of shape, into some kind of meaningful dog. Well, I think we've said enough. What else, anything you want to end on?
Did you hear about that gay sex video filmed? in the Senate.
Okay, yes, because the reason I found out about it is I saw the memes. Yeah, yeah. What do you want to say about it?
I mean, I guess I have nothing to say about it really besides like that's very funny. Um, but also like, man, be a little more careful about filming yourself doing massively incriminating things. But
I
also, haha, that guy's getting railed in Amy Klobuchar's chair, which is objectively very funny.
Yeah, I wonder if do you think she'll change chairs?
Well, Amy is one of my least favorite local politicians, so
Yeah, it couldn't have happened to a better person.
yeah, if she sits in like some dried cum, I would not be the worst thing in the world for me.
Or some wetcom.
I feel like she's particular enough she'd notice that, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. But yes, we should have talked more about that. Is a good point. Everybody go look up the memes. The memes are hilarious. And way to go, internet. Again, you win again. The internet never loses. Also fuck Twitter, or whatever the hell it's called now, because they let you know who back on. A lot of you know who's back on. So it's basically Truth Social now. So if you're a white supremacist, oh wait, hold on. We gotta end on this. And actually we're running out of time, so we gotta talk about this quickly. Jeff Whitehead from fucking Leviathan was on the list of people that bought stuff from the Nazi website in Germany. They were in Germany, right? Or no. They were in
I
was it
think.
Norway or Sweden?
Sweden.
Sweden. So,
Yeah.
fuck you, buddy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's gotta get the sweet, sweet screwdriver tunes for when he's like drawing his like ass looking art of like fucking dudes with abs like edamame pods.
Yeah. Who's the true traitor, true whore again? Oh, it's you, Jeff. Yeah. Fuck Leviathan. And fuck I only found three people from Pittsburgh on that list, and luckily I didn't know any of them. So
There are two people from Minneapolis. One I could not find any trace of on the internet, weirdly.
yeah.
The other actually is a U of M professor, apparently.
That's
Unless
not great.
two guys with the same extremely distinct last name. But
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because there was somebody from a nearby, like not Pittsburgh, but like I was searching other towns, and I found somebody and found their internet profile, but this person was like 75 years old, and I'm looking at his profile and I'm like, this can't be the same guy because the stuff he's posting doesn't jive. I mean, and he's 75 years old, so maybe it's like a son or just, and it wasn't like a really exotic name, so it's like, that's easy enough that it could be somebody else, but you know. Don't buy Nazi bullshit, and then you won't end up on a list. That's how it goes.
yep.
Well,
And
we'll just end with that. How's that?
yeah,
All right. Fuck Nazis.
welcome.